Perfect. So, welcome. I want to welcome our speaker today. She's very close to our hearts here at Jewish for Good, as she is the director of the Adult Day Program, the Norma and Robert Gindes Center at Jewish for Good. Her presentation title is The Power of Adult Day Programs, Care for the Whole Family. Meg Rayder is a social worker. She serves as the Adult Day Program Director at the Norma and Robert Gindes Center at Jewish for Good. With extensive experience in hospice care, medical social work, and caregiver support, she is passionate about creating enriching environments where participants feel valued and connected. Meg earned both her BSW and MSW from the University of Central Florida and brings deep compassion and expertise to her work with families. So without further ado, welcome Meg.
Here I am. Hi, everyone. So glad to be here. I'm excited to share with you on the world of adult day centers, something that's very near and dear to me, and a topic that I don't think many people know too much about. So I'm excited to present to you and hope it inspires you to learn more and share more about it. There we go. Presentation is coming soon, and I believe the presentation was emailed out to you as well, the PowerPoint. So you'll be able to access it again, and this recording will be available as well. So here we are, the power of adult day programs, care for the whole family. Right front and center is a picture of our adult day center, where folks are doing art with one of the community artists that comes to share on famous artists and do projects that relate to the artists. So a bit of education and artwork. And Shoshan, there we go. Today, what we'll cover is what adult day centers are, benefits, costs, quality indicators, availability, and I'll give you a local example of the Gindes Center here at Jewish for Good. So why this matters. So more families are providing care at home than ever before. We're going to be discussing statistics, specifically in North Carolina, and the growth of caregiving, which is staggering. And adult day centers balance safety and dignity and independence and are a place for much needed respite because caregiver burnout is very real and it's very common. So this is a way to offer support that is, I have heard it be discussed as a hidden gem. It's not widely known about, but it's a really great option for folks needing some care. Next, we'll talk about what is an adult day center. So an adult day center is a structured daytime program for older adults and individuals with disabilities or needing extra support. So we have structured activities, we have meals, supervision, on some models have nursing care. So it bridges a gap between home care and residential care and offers respite and peace of mind for caregivers. We'll talk about different types of adult day programs soon, so you'll have an idea of what the different offerings can be. So the different types of adult day programs, there is the social model, which is what the Gindes Center is. Social models focus on activities, socialization, wellness, recreation, and various activities to keep folks engaged throughout the day. Medical and health models include nursing cares, so they'll have a nurse on site. They often have options for therapy on site as well. So speech therapy, physical therapy, medication management, clinical monitoring. A huge difference between the two also is a person's level of independence with their activities of daily living. So in medical and health models, they are equipped to help with things like toileting and giving special medications, while social model adult day programs do not have that availability. All adult day centers must be certified through the Department of Health and Human Services. And that is a very lengthy, detailed certification that it is very impressive how detailed it is. And there's monthly monitoring that makes sure that adult day centers are staying on top of their various certification points. So each year, the adult day centers are recertified, which is another quite lengthy process. So when you see that a center is an adult day program, you know that it is backed by the Department of Health and Human Services. So who attends adult day centers? Mostly older adults needing supervision or structure. Many are people living with dementia or cognitive change of some sort. Individuals with mobility or chronic health conditions, and caregivers who need reliable daytime support. It should be their loved ones who need reliable daytime support. Benefits for participants. So it's a day program. So folks are coming to us in the morning and being picked up in the afternoon. So it's a full day of routine, and routine helps with reducing anxiety, reducing confusion, social connection, and reduced loneliness. So there are some participants who come, they might cognitively be doing okay, but really need the social stimulation and a way to reduce loneliness. So various types of folks that are looking for connection and community. It helps with cognitive stimulation. So lots of programming is specifically designed to make sure that cognitive stimulation is part of the routine. Physical activity and mobility support, nutritious meals and oversight. So improving wellness through nutrition. A nutritionist has to oversee the whole menu for adult day centers. That's part of certification. So the meals are always very balanced, which is a great way to make sure folks are meeting their nutrition needs. And then health and system benefits. So it has been studied and known for folks that attend these day programs have improved sleep patterns and mood. If you think about it, a lot of times folks that don't have this level of engagement would often be home a lot of times napping throughout the day if they're not stimulated, which then could lead to poor sleep at night. So participants have improved sleep once they start getting into the routine of going to an adult day program. Mood comes with this as well. Um, a lot of times we have caregivers report that their loved one's mood has been better at home. An example that comes right off the top of my head is one of our caregivers said that her mom has started singing again at home, and she had stopped singing for a very long time. But since coming to us, since music has been an important part of our days, she has picked back up on singing. So increased mood, better mood, improved sleep patterns. And then health concerns is an interesting benefit. So because we have a staff that is with loved ones for the whole day, they could pick up on patterns that maybe families aren't seeing at home. So increased visits to the restroom is one that I think of because that happens a bit. Noticing that frequent trips to the restroom sometimes indicate that maybe there is something more to look at. So having communication with the family, so then in turn, getting folks to the doctor faster than maybe if they were at home and those types of things weren't being observed. And that turns to fewer hospitalizations and early identification of health changes. Another point that I'll bring up with this too is mobility. So what we've noticed is because we're doing a lot of activities that require mobility in different forms, sometimes we'll notice changes after we get to know participants. And if we notice that there's a change in mobility, that's another conversation that we could have that then could be reported to the physician. So again, an added benefit of support for the whole family system is a huge benefit. I stuck in an example of what our day looks like just to have an idea. And a lot of other adult day centers have very similar structured days. So our days look like this almost each day. It's pretty similar in the sense that we have arrival, coffee and socialization, word puzzles, magazines, just kind of ease into the day. We have yogurt, and as people arrive, just kind of settle folks in. We have an exercise activity. So on this day, we had chair yoga. Then we had a visit from the second graders at the school that happens to be on campus. So they came and played bingo with us. We did an art project, had lunch. Then we do a listening lounge, which is we do an article and this day in history. So some cognitive benefits there of talking about history and having conversation around that. In the then we relax a bit, and in the afternoon we do yard games. If it's nice out, we'll do a little walk. And then because we were celebrating May 4th and Star Wars that week, we did a little behind the scenes documentary of Star Wars, discussion with that, and ended the day with a visit from a therapy dog. So a really full on day of activities. And I should say that that relaxation period is equally as important because most of our participants do utilize that time to either nap in one of the chairs, that lounge, or just rest. So benefits of an adult day center for caregivers. So it provides time to work and rest, to attend appointments. Sometimes it affords folks to be able to care for other family members. It reduces emotional and physical stress, offers peace of mind knowing that your loved one is in a safe and engaging place. And it could help delay higher levels of care. And we'll talk about that in a little bit as well. So who are caregivers? Over 1.3 million unpaid family caregivers in North Carolina alone. That number is huge. Most caregivers in North Carolina are typically women in their 40s to 60s. This is from an article of results from what's the word I'm looking for? I'm missing the word, but the AARP put out a poll to poll current caregivers, and this is what they came up with. On average, North Carolina caregivers provide 20 plus hours of care per week. So that's just an exhausting number. A lot of times, caregivers are also balancing other things like caring for aging parents or children, or some are working full-time jobs. So lots of dynamics when we're thinking about who caregivers actually are. So the hidden trade-offs of caregiving. Caregiving often comes with sacrifices that people don't openly talk about. So, making impossible choices. What do you have to give up, and why this matters? We're going to do an exercise in a moment to talk about how caregivers are rarely choosing between good and bad options. They're usually choosing between two important needs, and something has to give with that. So I'm going to ask you to help me here if possible, if you're comfortable with it, by starting with what is one thing that a caregiver often has to give up. So if you'll put in the chat just a word or two of one thing that a caregiver often has to give up. And then once we get a few in, Shoshana, if you don't mind reading some of those.
Of course. Vacation time.
Mm-hmm.
Self-care. Employment, work.
Mm-hmm.
Exercise. Time with friends. Free time.
So a lot of it seeming to be a lot of time related things that are being given up. And included with that could be friendships, income, sleep, health. So there are so many things that caregivers often have to give up. In the next slide, I'm going to ask you to participate again. If caregivers don't give that up, what suffers instead? I know that's an interesting way to look at things, but if you don't give those things up, what suffers instead?
Health.
So health,
I would think the safety of, safety or well-being of their loved one.
absolutely. Emotional connection, consistency of care, patience, and quality of care. So, so those are all things that suffer instead. And on the next slide, so caregivers are often choosing between their own well-being and their loved one's care. The question becomes, where does support come in, and where does relief fit into this equation? So caregivers are constantly balancing their own well-being with the care of someone they love. And this tension is often exhausting and also often invisible. I feel like I've heard from caregivers for many years that I've worked with them that it isn't a topic that comes up often with families. So a lot of times a caregiver is sort of taking it all on their own without folks even knowing how heavy it is all feeling. So next slide. This is where adult day centers fit in. So it reduces those trade-offs. So folks could rest without guilt, enjoy better quality time together. Caring for the whole family means reducing sacrifice, increases sustainability, and improves outcomes for both caregivers and participants. The rest without guilt is such a huge one. I think guilt is such a massive piece that caregivers feel like they need to be doing it all on their own. And letting that guilt go is so important for everybody's well-being, for your loved one and for yourself. We're going to talk money now. So cost comparisons. This is a very high level look at it, and we're going to dig deeper in just a minute. So adult day centers are among the most affordable care options there are. Home care hourly can exceed adult day costs very quickly. Residential care costs are typically much higher as well. So many families use adult day centers to delay higher level of cost care. And this next slide shows you a comparison of different care options, how much they average cost, and looking at this investment. So if you see home care, non-medical, so getting someone in who is non-medical, who comes in to help care for your loved one, is around $25 an hour. That might even be on the low side these days. Monthly cost for that is $3,500. And then and that would be for someone who's there full time. Annual investment $42,000 plus. Home health that's clinical is more towards $26 to $35 an hour. Again, that might be even low. So you see the monthly cost there is about $4,500, and your investment is $54,000. Assisted living, there is no hourly rate, but a monthly cost for assisted living is between $5,000 and $6,500, leaving the annual investment to be around $60,000 to $75,000. Skilled nursing monthly cost full time is over $10,000. So you see that annual investment is went up super high. And then adult day centers. This is what our adult day center charges. It's $140 a day, so about $20 an hour. For full time, that's $2,800, and the annual investment would be $33,000 plus. So quite a difference between the different care options. And while adult day doesn't take care of the very many things that the other care options do, it really has its place for folks when it's the right time for them. So it gives them, not only great care, but gives them a lot of structure and routine that comes along with it too. So it looking at the value and supervision and engagement, not just the price of adult day centers. Next slide. So a powerful comparison, 2 to 3 months of a skilled nursing may equal about 1 year of adult day services. So looking at it like stretching the dollars further while able, especially for families who it's important to keep their loved one home for as long as possible for various reasons. And we know that that's not always possible. That's not always safe. That's not always feasible. There is no guilt in that at all. But for folks that are really trying to keep their loved ones at home for as long as possible, this is just a really great option to look at. Understanding costs. So private pay is common. That's how most people pay for at least social model adult day programs. Long-term care insurance policies may apply, and a lot of times do. There's sometimes a period that you have to go in a 60-day or 90-day period that they won't cover, but then it kicks in and it's like a reimbursement that folks that have long-term care benefits could get reimbursed for a percentage to some that cover the whole day of adult day programs. So if that's something you're ever interested in talking to me about, I know a lot about it and I'm happy to chat with you. For veterans and folks that have Medicaid, they might have some benefits that might help pay for adult day centers. A lot of times those are for the medical model adult day centers only. Adult day centers exist nationwide, but they vary region to region. Demand is growing, and as we saw, North Carolina is aging rapidly with increasing needs. So expansion is occurring, but access could still be limited. And I think that a lot of part of that too is the education behind what adult day centers are. So we received a few questions prior on how to assess the quality of adult day centers and observing staff, going there and being able to observe. Every center should give you that option to be able to observe engagement between participants with each other and with staff. Ask about training and ratios. Don't just ask if staff are kind, but ask how they are trained. Compassion matters, but skills matter, just as importantly. And at a minimum for training, you would want to make sure that a center, especially a center that is offering supports for folks that have dementia or related cognitive decline, that they have some sort of substantial dementia and Alzheimer's training. So asking the center what sorts of training that they received is certainly reasonable to ask and important. At a minimum, staff should be trained in person-centered care. So that means seeing that each participant is an individual with preferences and routines and strengths and history, not just a diagnosis. Communication training is essential. So making sure that staff has communication training, so staff know how to speak clearly and use nonverbal cues, validate emotions, ability to de-escalate tense moments. Also, all adult day centers have to have medical and emergency preparedness training. It's part of certification that they are all CPR and first aid up to date. And then also asking about activity programming and engagement. If there's someone there who makes the schedules, what is their job, and what sorts of activities do they have there? So those are all great questions to ask. What is the staff to participant ratio? How are medical needs handled? What does the typical day look like? and how do you support new participants adjusting? And that last piece, the supporting new participants, I'm going to dive further in just a little bit. So strengths of an adult day center, they're cost effective, flexible scheduling, and supports both the participant and the caregiver. Limitations is that it's not 24/7 care. Transportation is sometimes a barrier for folks to get to and from the adult day center. Sometimes there are ways to find supports with that, so it shouldn't completely take the option off the table. It would be something you'd want to talk to the director about. And then adjustment period for new participants. That's a big one. I think a lot of folks think their loved one isn't going to like it. Maybe they get resistance for even coming to check it out. But moving through that uncomfort is really important, and we're going to talk about this. So it is very, very common for a new or potential participant to feel resistant. So new settings feel uncomfortable. It's very common with cognitive changes. And adjustments could take 2 to 6 weeks. And so what I ask always is, if you could get them to us, get them through the door, and consistently keep the promise of bringing them here, by a few weeks, it becomes a routine, and it becomes a welcomed, happy routine. So even the most resistant participants that we've had who have fought their loved ones to come are now singing our praises. And I mean that. If you really have trust in the center and it's not a complete misfire, then just chugging along with the routine and getting them to the center is really invaluable. And after a few weeks, it really does become much easier. And lastly, we'll talk about the Gindes Center because that's the center that I know so well, and I'm happy to share about it. It's a fairly new program. We opened up in October. It'll be 2 years. So we're a new program. We're a small program, and our focus is on dignity and connection and purpose. We have a diverse group of participants. So even though we are housed at Jewish for Good, you do not have to be Jewish to be a participant. And many of our participants are not Jewish. We do celebrate Jewish holidays and culture and Shabbat every Friday. And for participants that aren't Jewish, they find it interesting and something new to participate in. We have a strong emphasis on caregiver partnership as well. I'm very close to our caregivers, and that's a really important part of my job. So this is our mission. So providing engaging, social, enriching, and safe environment for participants and support caregivers and families by providing respite. So what we offer: daily enrichment, movement, art, music. We get meals right from the Jewish Community Center kitchen that comes right to us. As I had said before, we're licensed through the Department of Health and Human Services. And we have a very compassionate, experienced staff who've all been with us since the day that we've opened, even earlier than we opened during the planning period. We operate Tuesday through Friday, 9 to 4, and we make use of the various other programs that are here at the Jewish Community Center. So we have our folks that come do wellness with us are the same personal trainers that are here at the wellness center, at the community center. Our art and music is sometimes shared with the schools here. Lots of intergenerational programs with the schools, which is really exciting because it's mutually beneficial for the kids to spend time with us. And we have partnerships too with Duke and UNC, who send us students, doctoral level occupational therapy students. We now have a MSW, Master Social Work student who comes as well. So lots of great partnerships that we have in the community. We have full-time, which is 9 to 4, Tuesday and Friday. And then we're trying to get off the ground a Monday afternoon program, which is our only half-day program, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So that would be brand new, and we're still trying to get it up and going by getting a few folks that want to be involved with it. So if that's something that is of interest to you, it's a nice way for folks to try out the program. And these are, all the pictures that you're seeing are from our program. So like I said before, some of this is duplicate. We, offer, take advantage of everything that the campus has to offer, including the schools and the health and wellness center here. We do intergenerational celebrations, physical care and exercise. And like I said, we partner with Duke University and UNC for student placement and projects. Just wanted to share a beautiful photo of one of our participants with some of the kids that were coming to do bingo with us. And some art projects that we do. I always find it fun that someone will declare that their husband does not do art. There's no way that he was an engineer. He would never pick up a crayon. Good luck. And these are the guys that love art the most. I think it's the opportunity of being able to do things that you wouldn't necessarily do at home. And for one of our participants, it was the first time he's ever picked up a paintbrush. So I think just giving opportunity to do these things with peers is such a powerful move. Our therapy dogs, we sure love them. They come and visit us at least twice a week. They're wonderful. I just wanted to show you a little picture of that. So our key takeaways for today. So adult daycare support the whole family. They're cost effective and impactful. Quality and fit do matter. There are various types of adult day centers. Deciding between social versus medical, and even in those larger adult days versus smaller adult days, there's many different things to think about when deciding. And I'm happy to be of service to chat with you about various adult days and what to look for, even if it's not the Gindes Center. And then adjustment takes time, but the benefits are strong. So sticking it out, I think, is something that I really wanted to drive home. These are resources that were in the information that you received when you signed up, and maybe even on the website. Great different resources that might be helpful when you're choosing an adult day center or looking for caregiver resources or support, as well as the National Adult Day Services Association. And that is the end of my presentation. If anyone has questions, concerns that are on top of mind, or how we could support your next steps, I'm happy to stick on and see what comes up.
Oh, Shoshana, I have a question. Thank you. It's a great presentation. Let me just put my face on. Okay, hi.
There you go.
I am a caregiver, and my daughter. We moved our mom from Brooklyn because she was alone there last year to live with us. She lives with my daughter, and she's the how would say the major caregiver. Thank God, she has her own business and she's flexible, and she has a Medicaid, and she has a Holocaust survivor program. I know you're probably familiar with that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she has a home aid almost all day, every day. But because in Brooklyn, she went to that famous daycare in Brooklyn. And
Yeah.
it's dancing and music and activities and exercise and the hot meals. She's very social. She likes art, she likes music, she likes everything. And here it's become a vacuum for her, put it this way. Okay. I'm just thinking if we could work separately, that some of the Holocaust survivor program or Medicaid, she's a maximum 80 hours from Medicaid and maximum from Holocaust. If we could work it together, that would be wonderful. And just two small questions. The meals are some of them hot. Is it hot meals or hot meals?
Yes.
Okay.
Hot meals from the kitchen. That's right.
Okay, and kosher, as I understand, right?
Yes. Kosher style.
Thank you. Um, she's Jewish. I mean, we're Jewish. And transportation, it's on our own, right? You're not providing transportation.
That's correct. So some ways that we go around transportation is we have had some participants that might share a caregiver that comes and drives them. So that's one option, meaning a paid caregiver, or they've linked up with each other to build carpool type situations. So those are two ways that that we've gone about looking for help with transportation. There are some county resources for transportation as well. It just becomes tricky if folks are living in a different county than where the adult day center is.
Oh, she's living in Cary, but it's a Wake County. They have a transportation, but it's limited, they say.
Sure.
Yeah, because it's a Medicaid cover. It's not every day. And if we choose your center, I think my mom will be interested in that Mondays 4 hours. It's really appealing.
Wonderful. And I'm happy to talk with you too, Maria. My information should be at the end of this of the program and sent out. So if you want to give me a call or email, I'm happy to chat it out with you.
Thank you. Looking forward. Thank you,
Absolutely.
Shoshana. Appreciate. Thank you.
Linda, I see you have your hand raised.
Yes, thank you. Sorry I don't have a camera I can use today, but Meg, great presentation. I especially like the grid with the price comparisons. I've never seen the information so concisely displayed. I love that. My question is, if you've got a loved one who does enjoy a lot of social activities, but they're considered a high fall risk, several fractures, osteoporosis, is that not necessarily a good candidate for adult day programs?
So it's so person-centered that I would hate to give you a general answer for that. I think that with looking at each situation, I consider all of my participants to be at a risk for fall because we just need to have that mindset, right? Like we want to make sure that we have in place what we can to ensure everybody's safety, including training and such. I think it would be too hard for me to say, Linda, but I wouldn't count it out. It would be worth a conversation between us to know exactly what his needs are, and to also talk too about the possibility of physical therapy. Where has that fit in with him, and if there's potential for more of that. There's right now talk between a physical therapist that's here at Jewish for Good, coming to do some hours at the adult day center. So I think there's room to have the discussion.
Great. And one other thing, I wasn't real clear on if someone does need assistance going to the bathroom, being supervised during that. Is that something that your program can handle?
Great question. So we are able to help folks in the restroom. We're able to, if they're using different products, so Depends or whatever pads, whatever folks might be using, we're able to help get them that for them and be there to cue. We can't help with any hands-on care. That then you would be looking for a health or medical model.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions about either the Gindes Center specifically or about adult days broadly for Meg? Meg, I wonder if you could speak to something you sort of touched on. How do you know when it's the right time? I think a lot of people, it can be so murky and uncertain to make these decisions. And I wonder if there's a sense that you have to share of sort of what's the right window for folks in their, I know it's different for everybody, but just
Sure.
some markers that you could share.
Sure. And to that point, we have had folks that have come, and each adult day center, Gindes Center specifically, that I'll talk about, we do have a trial window that we do, and then it's 2.5 hours that folks come and spend with us. The caregiver comes. The potential participant does activities with us, and it's a good way for all of us to get an idea of if this is the right fit. And then after that is a full day trial. So again, you're not committing to anything, but you're getting a full day trial to see how it works. I think those are great ways to figure out if it's the right fit, because it could go either way. There are some potential participants who get there and feel like maybe they're not quite ready yet for that program. Maybe the caregiver feels like they just wanted to check it out and test the waters, and then decide that maybe it's not quite the right time yet. I think that it doesn't hurt to do those trials if you're having an idea, just to sort of get an idea, get a glance of what it could look like. I know that's not exactly answering your question, Shoshana. I think for most folks, either it's looking for opportunity for their loved ones to have more engagement, not sleep all day at home, have things to do to help them stay active and cognitively active and physically active. And then on the other side of it is caregivers that are just so stretched thin that it's a need. They need that help. There's such a spectrum of potential reasons why people look for adult day. And I think if you're anywhere in between that spectrum, it's worth reaching out and talking it out with me or with another director.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it sounds like also researching these options while you're not when you're not in crisis mode and you're not at your wit's end is wise.
So true.
Any other? Oh, okay. Someone asked, please talk a bit more about the partnerships that you have with Duke and UNC students that come to your center. Where are they coming from? Like what departments and how are they helping? And what are the students learning or looking to get out of assisting?
Sure. Our I think our greatest partnership right now happens to be with the Duke Occupational Therapy doctoral program. So we've been getting students coming to do various levels of projects for us and with us. So there is different phases that occupational therapy doctorate students go through in their years of being there. And so some come in more of a observation and participation mode of spending a week with us. And then others are doing pretty great projects, capstone projects. One project was 3 students that worked on the importance of respite for caregivers. So they worked specifically with caregivers and trying to spread education on what respite means to caregivers. Right now, we have a group of students that are working with the schools and us to talk about the importance of intergenerational programming. We have a really unique opportunity here at Jewish for Good and at the Gindes Center to be able to utilize the schools here and have intergenerational programming. So they're working on what that could look like, and then hopefully using that as a capstone project to build a intergenerational program for us, which would be so cool. Right now, it's we have a great relationship with the school, so we'll call them and ask if students are available and do it kind of off the cuff. But having an actual program is awesome. And then we also have the social work student. She's from UNC, and she's here with she's about to do her, what is it, Shoshana, like her second
Yeah, her
phase.
specialization year.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that's exciting too.
Somebody asked, what is an age of day center participants?
So we have ages 62 to 98. So a very large gap between ages. We have some that are, yeah, as young as 62, and then our most senior wonderful participant is 98.
And a real range in mobility capabilities
Absolutely.
as well. Any other questions for Meg? All right. Well, I want to just take a moment to thank everybody for coming today. Thank you for your wonderful questions. Thank you so much to you, Meg, for all of this really helpful and amazing information, both about adult day centers, the benefits broadly, and about the one that you are running right here from our own backyard at Jewish for Good.
Thank you so much for having me.
I want to let folks know that if you're signed up for tomorrow, we will be back here at 10:30. The presentation tomorrow is Hear Better, Think Better, Understanding Hearing Loss and Cognitive Health with Patty Wild, who's a recently retired audiologist with 4 decades of experience. So that should be another great talk. And I will, again, we recorded today, and I will again make sure that folks have the resources that Meg shared. And we weren't able to share the PowerPoint earlier, but it will be on our website. it will be uploaded along with the video of today's talk. So you can always touch back with that, and I will make sure to send it out once everything is uploaded, probably early next week. So thanks again, everybody. Thanks, Meg.
Thank you.